You want to just get the Commanders talk out of the way?
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. It's a surreal feeling. Like I still don't think that it's real. I could never imagine the Commanders being in the NFC Championship. And in a weird way, I feel like it's house money. Where I feel pressure. Like it's going to be a crazy game. I'm going to be nervous as hell on Sunday. I'm going to be nervous as hell all week. But also, we have nothing to lose.
This season's already a win.
Massive win. We have nothing to lose this weekend.
Do you remember the last one?
The last
was it
Super Bowl?
91?
So I remember winning. I remember watching the Super Bowl with my family. I remember the celebration afterwards, and then I remember my dad got a can of Coke from the store that had the Redskins logo on it, Super Bowl champions.
Love that.
And that can of Coke stayed in our laundry room right above our washing machine for, I think, 15 years. And it just gradually faded from red to like a light pink at the end of it. I need to find what happened to that can of Coke. Maybe it's in storage somewhere.
It was a can?
It was a can of Coke.
Interesting, because you see the glass bottles.
Yeah, it was a can of Coke, and it had the logo for the Super Bowl on it. I remember that. I remember the celebration afterwards, and I remember Mark Rippon in the second half of that game. But I don't think I remember anything else in that season. Maybe it's all like fuzzy because I was like 6 at the time. So, yeah, I don't really remember going to an NFC Championship game in my entire life, or really even thinking that was possible.
The only team that hasn't made it this century now is the Cowboys.
Yeah, so it's been, since 1996?
I think so, yeah.
And they're the only team in the NFC.
Correct.
The Houston Texans have not made the championship game, correct?
Yeah, I don't
think
so.
The AFC Championship?
I don't recall that they have.
Yeah.
But NFC, the only one to not make it in the 21st century is the Cowboys.
Pretty wild, right? And now Jaden Daniels has as many playoff wins as Dak Prescott.
Saw that as well.
Yeah.
Did you see he's the only, in the common draft era, which I think goes back to 67, he's the only top 4 pick quarterback to go to the championship game in his first year.
Yeah, rookies just don't do this, and there's something different about the guy where he just doesn't get too excited. He's always calm. He's always at his best when the moment's biggest. And we ended up beating the Lions by playing their game. Like we were more aggressive than Dan Campbell, and that's what we've done all year. It might come back to bite us in the ass at some point, but we're the best team in the NFL in fourth down. We've already got as many fourth down conversions as any team in the history of the playoffs, and that's through 2 games right now. So we're very, very good on fourth down. We're going to keep being aggressive on fourth down. It might bite us in the ass, but I don't care. Whatever Dan Quinn says, yeah, let's do it. It works. He seems to have a good feel for it. And now, in like a weird twist to everything, last year, I wanted Ben Johnson as the coach of the Commanders. He was like my number one. I wanted him and Vrabel. And I think Dan Quinn was like 5th on my list. It was way down there. I'm an idiot. I don't know ball.
Made a list of more than 5 people for your head coaching vacancy. That's hilarious.
Oh, no,
yeah,
that's...
You have to do that, yeah.
If UT was going through a coaching search, I'd have 10.
And so I wanted Ben Johnson. He turned us down. I was pissed off. Dan Quinn, we flew him out through Dulles Airport commercial. And apparently he did a great job in the interview, and he's been the perfect fit. And then Dan Quinn goes into Detroit, and he beats Ben Johnson in Detroit. So what a weird series that was. And now the Lions coaches are free to do interviews with any team that they want, free to get hired by any team that they want. And meanwhile, Cliff Kingsbury has to keep waiting because we just won this game. So there's a good chance that both the Lions coordinators are going to be hired to be head coaches this week. And then all the other dominoes will start to fall after Ben Johnson gets taken. But yeah, crazy twist. The Lions, I don't want to say I feel bad for them because that sounds patronizing, but I do like.
It's tough.
I mean, the Lions. I love Dan Campbell. I love Jared Goff. Their team is awesome. Their defense was just banged up through injuries. They've got great running back in Jahmyr Gibbs, great offensive line. They're a very fun team, and I like rooting for Detroit and any other city that's been kind of a loser fan base for a very long time. Like, I feel you. I was a loser. Like, I still feel like I am a loser, but I was in the thick of that shit for a long time. So I feel for that type of fan base, and to have all those expectations this year and to just get your teeth kicked in at home.
Fuck all that, man. You whoop their ass, bro. Dance on their grave. What the fuck is you talking about?
I don't want to. I will dance on Philadelphia's grave if we win this game, for sure. I don't want to dance on Detroit Lions.
Fuck that shit.
I have
Walk
no
on a grave.
Aaron. I got no
Shame.
animosity against Detroit Lions fans.
Oh, soft. That's why.
That's not a historic rival. Although, if you want to go back to the last time we were in the championship game, the NFC Championship game, we beat the Lions to go to that Super Bowl in
Dance on a
1991.
grave. That's what makes sports fun. Dance on a grave.
Well, I'll just say this:
Like
Jane
KD did. Kevin Durant did that shit. He dancing on a grave.
I won't dance on their grave, but I'll fuck their AstroTurf. How about that? That's what Jameson Williams did. Humped the AstroTurf, didn't get a flag for it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He had sex with the field.
That was on the one of the sickest plays I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Shout out to, speaking of Ben Johnson. That play design was incredible.
Yeah, it was. It was a great play. And then he got to the end zone. He just like grinded against the ground for a long time.
Wow.
I think he stuck to 2 pumps, which I think in the Key and Peele skit, the third pump is where you get in trouble.
Yeah, it was very graphic, but then he kind of disappeared after that. Had a big interception.
Yep.
But yeah, I love this team, man. I love everything about them. It feels like the best vibes ever. It feels like, again, it's house money. I don't want to say team of destiny because I don't know if you can say that. The Eagles are a really good team and they've got a great roster. Our roster on paper, not as good as their roster, but the defense is playing well.
Yeah, it depends on how your secondary shows up. If secondary show up, it's a tough squad to beat. Y'all just don't have like a bunch of like you said, you don't have a lot to lose. So you can gamble, you can do things. You said you're playing with the house's money.